All right, so I want to thank you all for joining me. We're going to cut into this right quick. Let me just go ahead and get this set up. I know we are now live, so let me go on ahead and open up the panel and the chat to see all of your responses. Let me go ahead and open this up for all of you. Yep, you're going to open that up. And all right, cool. So one person watching, that being me, I don't care, but this is something that is very important, that you know that if you subscribe to this channel that you are definitely interested in. And let's just get to it. We're going to get to this news. Shout out to all of you who are watching today. Shout out to all of you who are part of the campaign of men who decide to not complain and moan and cry about women who aren't cooperative, women who aren't down with your program, women who won't submit. Hey, what's good? Ciro, Liam Johnson, I'm in the house. Oh, okay. Well, shout out to you guys. And I know a lot of you guys, Ciro notification. Exactly. They don't notify channels like me. So if you want to be notified, first of all, go ahead and subscribe, just like you do to all these other streams, all these other panels that tell you how the daggle's this or the daggle's that. Yeah, they focus on the daggle. You know what? Focus on that subscribe button if you want your focus to be outside of the daggle and how to get them successfully, and how to get women to choose you. So with that being stated, hit the subscribe button, but more importantly, hit that bell, because the bell is going to be the thing that notifies you. And YouTube has been very inconsistent lately when it comes to who gets notified. Okay, well, if you're teaching men, I know Sarah's going to like this one, but no shots. If you're teaching men on how to be the bag and be a sucker, beta male provider, get suited and booted so you can just throw all your assets to her, oh, you get the notifications for those. If you're subscribed to the channel that talks about crying about daggles all day, yeah, they secretly lust after daggles, oh, you'll get that. You will get subscribed for that, because that is what the mainstream media wants. And that is what not only mainstream American media, but the mainstream Negro media. Gillen and Cameron talked about the mainstream Negro, what did he call it? The Black News Factory, something like that. They want you to listen to stuff that will keep you in the community, keep you in the grips of the daggle, the community, the gynocracy, everything else. But they won't tell you about this. They damn sure won't tell you about SYSBM potentials that could have happened in the past. And this article, what I'm going to tell you, is basically one proof that SYSBM tenants, I should say. We're an ally of SYSBM. Shout out to those guys. But interracial dating is natural. Interracial dating isn't just something that just came up in the 1960s and just, all of a sudden we're here and they're trying to shove it down our agenda. Well, if you want to say that, then why was it that the American BW was allowed to interracially date with little to no conflict, whereas the BM, when he looked towards women outside the race, you got towns blowing up and people dropping bombs and threatening tactical nukes because a little black man, a little black boy, or a grown-ass black man decided to just not look away from a white woman or a non-black woman. But in any case, the reason why I'm stating those incidents is because of what you see here. Jane Fonda reveals that she regrets never sleeping with Marvin Gaye and found Marlon Brando disappointing, that she dishes the dirt ahead of her new book and climate change. So let's go on ahead and read this article right here, where Jane Fonda called legendary heartthrob Marlon Brando disappointing as she reflected on her early days in Hollywood and her brand new book and a new profile for the New York Times. I swear, Daily Mail people do not know how to write. Their writers suck. So if I slip on some words, yeah, you know why. Fonda, 82, dished dirt during a quick round of confirm or deny questions, where she told reporter Maureen Dowd she wasn't exactly charmed by the wild old talent who was her co-star in the 1966 drama The Chase. While she said her experience with Brando was lackluster, the actress activist admitted she wishes she got closer to another star, telling the New York Times she regrets never hooking up with late crooner Marvin Gaye. Now, this is something that we are definitely going to get into. I'll read the article right quick, but we're going to get into the analysis soon after. Asked for her take on Brando, Fonda simply said, disappointing. But she did give him credit for being a great actor, obviously. One of Dowd's cheekier questions asked Fonda whether her greatest regret is that you never had sex with Che Guevara. But it wasn't... Oh, what? What are her greatest regrets that you never had? But it wasn't the Cuban revolutionary who left a lasting impression. No, I don't think about him, Jane said. Who I do think about, and what is a great regret, is Marvin Gaye. She goes back to Marvin Gaye twice. He wanted to, and I didn't. At the time, I was married to Tom Hayden. Fonda, who was wed to the left-wing activist politician for 17 years, married in 1973. Hayden passed away in 2016. So, to her credit, she's still... See, all right, we'll talk about that in a minute. They too shared 47-year-old son, Troy Garrity. Okay. So, hold on. Hayden Garrity. Okay, never mind. Jane explained how she actually met the Let's Get It On singer while recruiting performers to do benefit concerts for her late ex. I was meeting a lot of performers to try to do concerts for Tom, and the woman who was helping me do that introduced me to Marvin Gaye, she said. Tickled at the thought of a Fonda Gaye fling, Dowd joked, please tell me his pickup line included the word sexual healing. Jane admitted, while that would have been nice, she turned down his offer. I needed some, but he didn't say that. No, Fonda went on. But then I read, apparently he had my picture on his refrigerator. I didn't find that out until later, after he was dead. Now, I know for all of you who know, Marvin Gaye actually died in a tragic way, very way before his time. As I said, Gaye died in 1984 after being shot by his father at their LA home. Interestingly, Brando and Gaye are rumored to have had slept together. We won't get into that, but in 2018, Quincy Jones told Fulcher about Marlon's voracious appetite for sex, dishing Brando with anything. Eat a mailbox. James Baldwin, Richard Pryor, Marvin Gaye. Gaye's son denied the rumors, saying, we didn't really think too much about it because we know the facts. My dad was a ladies' man. Everyone loved my dad, but my dad didn't have anything against homosexuals. He was about love. I think he would have laughed it off personally. And back in 2018, before we get to the article, let me go ahead and show up Solo TV 84 with the $10 super chat. Solo TV 84 in the building. Shout out to him. Shout out to my co-host of Snow Bunny Sundays, and which is a great Snow Bunny Sunday relevant article, which we're going to get into a mini Snow Bunny Sunday analysis. It won't be too much because my co-host isn't here. As I said, he's been busy this week. He's had a record-breaking few. Shout out to him being unshadow banned with his 800 plus concurrent viewer live stream when he analyzed Kevin Samuels slow roasting. We know who. We won't say her name because at this point she should be blacklisted from the manosphere for the stuff that she has done and she has been allowed to do. Let's just go into that. Let's just say that. But back in 2018, Fonda told people she spent decades defined by the men in her life until becoming single in her 60s. Up until my 60s, I was to an extent defined by the men in my life. I was brought up to please, she said. I wanted my father to love me, so I would turn myself into a pretzel to be what he wanted me to be, not necessarily what I already was. It took me getting into my 60s, and then I began to become who I was supposed to be all along. So she's in her 80s, so her 60s was in the 2000s. Anyway, Fonda's new book, What Can I Do? My Path from Climate Despair to Action is out September 8th. Okay, so what is it? What did they say about climate change? You all saw it, right? Climate change. Okay, got it. All right, so this gets, I'm taking that out because I'm not going to risk YouTube and yeah, because like, if you put something controversial in the book, it's like, ooh. Anyway, short article, short read, but we're gonna get into some real analysis about these two individuals. Well, I guess these three, these two, because from all we heard, Marlon Brando, which Fonda was involved in, for all the accreditation that he gets in Hollywood, from the mainstream Hollywood press, from all the other women who were probably with him during his tenure in Hollywood, and he's a hell of an actor. I'm not going to take that away from him, but she only had one word to say about this multi-millionaire actor. This Chad of the 1950s and 60s, and 50s, 60s, 70s. You remember him from Godfather. I mean, that's where most of us remember him from. But only one word to say about the Don? Really, one word to say about the Don, and that was boring? Seriously? You can't say that about the Don. You can't say that about the Godfather. He was disappointing. Excuse me. But yeah, this was a disappointment, whereas this guy was the one who was on her mind. And apparently, the feeling was mutual with him being, well, she wanted him, he wanted her. The point is that SYSBM was real. Interracial dating, interracial desire was real back then as it is now. Now, you'll have a lot of these dating coach guys who, if they get a hold of this article, will definitely attack Jane Fonda the way they've attacked another celebrity who wishes she was getting on. I think it was Toni Braxton. Was that the one who, remind me, who's the one who said she regrets not getting with Stevie Wonder, that sort of, somebody remind me. I'm not good with celebrity news, which is why I don't do it, because partially I really don't care. But there was another celebrity this week that everyone in the manosphere has been cooking, and Sarah, you can tell me this. Everyone's been cooking over her. Well, she wanted to sleep around, and she said she regretted not sleeping around. So, she's a daughter. Oh my goodness. She just saying that man gives her the red scarlet letter. You should have shut up and said enough. You should have took it to the grave, girl. All right, so somebody tell me that the name of the celebrity who's been getting cooked all week. But if the manosphere decides to go after Jane Fonda for her comments on, well, one, Marlon Brando, and two, on especially Marvin Gaye, because you know it's going to happen in the, let's just say this, the white manosphere. The white manosphere is going to roast Jane Fonda over this. There definitely are, not just because of what she said about wanting to sleep around, but wanting to sleep around with this guy, which is a big no-no. This ruined her getting with him. If that were to happen in the 1960s, would you know how much of a shit show that would have been? Oh, no. Oh, no. Those were the good days. Those were the days before feminism, before the woman was able to decide the most sexually attractive man, before the days that non-black women were able to decide, were able to get with black men. Oh, no. The fact that women, particularly non-black women, white, Latina, Asian women, get to choose is the part of the reason why a part of the manosphere exists to begin with. We don't want to admit it, but that's just the truth. And a lot of people really don't want to believe me. And to be honest, my perspective on how a certain part of the manosphere, your big manosphere guys, your Rollo Tomasis, your Richard Coopers, hell, even Coach Greg Adams, because his audience is mostly non-black, so they're going to eat this up. But they're going to say, she was a dotty, and women were all the same back in the 1960s. And their nature was that they wanted to get around and sleep around and get with BBC and make you the beta bucks. But back then, we had the law and the white man on our side, so they didn't have female nature back then. Their female nature was under control because we had them under control. And since we're too wussy in order to make them or put them back under control like they do in the Middle East. We're just going to sit and cry and whine about it until they come submit. Yeah, okay, cool. All right, well, you know, keep whining and complaining about it because you guys, if there is a change, it won't be due to you guys. It'll be due to some economic cataclysmic event. And even then, they're just going to come back due to necessity. And coming back or coming to the table due to necessity is the worst way to get any individual to negotiate because she will be not begging, but she will be itching to cuck you. That's just the fact. And I'm surprised you guys don't even know it. It's like these guys who cry about these daggles and these whatever. They want their cucking so bad. They want the cucking, don't they? So they want the cucking. These guys want the cucking so bad. You believe that crap? Do you believe that these guys who cry and complain and whine about women? These are the same guys. You know what? So let me tell you something. Because you're the one who gave me the $10 super chat. That's why your stuff is there. That's why I'm leaving it there until somebody else steps up to the table. You got the manosphere, right? The manosphere who constantly goes off about how, you know, women are this and women are that. Women don't like, women do this, women do that. Women are treacherous, women are evil. You know, there are guys who echo their message. There are guys who are willing to defend them. There are guys who are willing to advocate for them. But do you know what they do to those guys? Well, first of all, they don't support them. They don't donate. They don't do anything. And if you say one wrong move, they'll be the first ones. Quicker than women. Quicker than the alpha males who are benefiting from this current society. Quicker than the dating coaches who are benefiting from this society. Quicker than the PUA guys. Quicker than any of those guys. It would be these same men who are crying about women who would be the first one to attack you. You believe that, Solo? You believe that? Well, I can. And you can too, because you're actually there when it happened. You got all these incels and near cells and tricksters who basically are complaining about female nature, not because they hate the current state of female nature, but because they aren't the winners of it. Because if they were the winners of it, at best, we wouldn't even hear from them. And at worst, these would be the guys who would be defending the current state that we're in. So I don't take anything that these guys say seriously. One, because these guys don't put their money where their mouth is. Two, these guys will flip on you on a hat of a dime, whatever the saying goes. Three, these guys are compromised by their lack of sexual access, which they yearn for, which you can definitely see here. Because, and four, these guys are complaining when guys who actually defend them, who also get chewed out the frame, Kevin Samuels, and all of a sudden finds his own market, and then they complain about, why are the women supporting him? Women are supporting him, but he cooked him. You all weren't supporting them. You were already chasing him out of town for telling you to take off that do-rag, take off those dreads, take off those Jordans, take off that swag back in the twist jersey and cap and Jordans. You were already to chase him out of town. And it took him, BGS, and the order in order to keep him afloat. Oh, and by the way, he was shadow banned at one point. Just to let you know, him defending black men in the image, trying to get black men set. All that got him shadow banned. That basically got him shadow banned. But Kevin Samuels now, he caters to a different audience. And all of a sudden, he's getting rained on. He's getting that Magic City money. He's getting that freaking, OnlyFans money from women. Not from, and from Ike. From women and from Ike. So Ike is like, granted, he's like 50% of Kevin Samuels' support base because Ike's like that. The same Ike who was on Solo TV 84 and will be on Solo TV 84 show in the future. Maybe he'll make an appearance here. But, yeah, Ike brings in the money. Do all of you bring in Ike money? Huh? To the men who defend you from the feminism and the female nature and they all want to sleep around? You know what? How about this? Here's what I say when it comes to women sleeping around. And I'll tell you this after I read this other super chat from this other supporter, Patrick Jones with the $10 super chat. I don't think I've ever seen you here before. Shout out to you, my dude. I don't think I've ever seen you before, or I haven't seen your face. Shout out to the $10 super chat by Patrick Jones. But what I always say about things like this is that if you have an issue, such an issue with the current state of women's society, don't complain. Find a way to benefit. Don't whine. Be the carousel. Be the guy she chooses. Now, I'm not saying take her serious. I'm not saying, oh, you gotta wipe these women up and you gotta get these hoes. I don't want these hoes. I don't want these hoes. I'd rather live alone. I'm complaining about these hoes, but I don't want these hoes. I'm a bitch running on the internet, but fuck these hoes. I'm gonna go to the stream where British lady talks nice to me because she's AWOL, but fuck these hoes. No, we're not doing that. We don't do that here. We don't have inconsistencies here. And yeah, shout out to Carbon. Granted, hey, if I get big enough, Mr. Carbon, I'm gonna have all caps timed out. You know that, right? So just and misspelling in states' names. Big booty white women in Arizona do love black men. I mean, well, first of all, big booty. Let's clarify that. Were we talking about solo TV big booty cakes, or we were talking about the typical big booty daggle size that most of these Negroes, well, half these Negroes complain about? The ones who are into the hood rats. But in any case, as far as Marlon Brando's concerned, this is the reason why segregation, miscegenation laws, and all that other happy horse crap was created. It was made, and I'll state this, and if if Richard Cooper has a problem with it, if Roland Tomasi has a problem with it, you're good, Carbon, you're good. Yeah. But if those two have a problem with it, they may or may not, I don't know. I know I'm freaking Anthony Johnson, freaking Redman Group, they're gonna have a problem with it. I know they're gonna have a problem with it because you know what kind of boys they can do. They get the boys. They are the Proud Boys of the freaking Red Pill manosphere. I'm just saying. You want Anthony Johnson's 21 convention. There's a reason why AMS decided to bow out gracefully from the 21 convention. There was a reason. He didn't want to get messy. And what was that mess he was talking about? It's the same kind of mess that is going to make Anthony Johnson cook Jane Fonda for wanting Marvin Gaye. I'll just lead you all to figure out the clue and solve the puzzle and, just answer the problem. And I like to solve the puzzle. Pat. Freaking A. Look, as far as that, hey, Alex, can I have a freaking red pill 4,000, Alex? But look, this fine woman who was one of the standards of her beauty at the time. I mean, yeah, now she been hit the wall and blah blah blah. I get that. All right, cool. But if you're telling me that someone like Jane Fonda wanted Marvin Gaye, and Marvin Gaye wanted her, first of all, we gotta see on why she didn't do it. The only reason why she didn't do it at the time was because she was married. A marriage when she actually kept loyal to, at least as far as we know, until her husband's untimely her husband's passing. So, miss me with that, she wanted to sleep around. She decided to stay faithful, which is something you can't say about a good amount of Western women today. So, that's one reason. And the other reason is this. You got, we were cooking. We were cooking Anthony Johnson. So, Anthony Johnson. Look, Anthony Johnson, if you got a problem with me stating how Jane Fonda wanted Marvin Gaye, then you can know where you can find me. The other guys who I'm sure will be more respectful, your Roland Tomasi's, Rich Coopers, if you have a problem with me doing this, then you know where to find me. MLD. Freaking A. Modern Life Dating. Oh, you probably won't have a problem with me doing this because you're giving me a shout out. So, this will be a good one. If you watch this, just give me a shout in the comment section. Holler, dude. In any case, as far as this is concerned, look, 26 people watch. We have 26 people watching. This is what I'm talking about. 26 people watching this late at night. This late at night. Freaking hey. I mean, sheesh. Shout out to all of you. 27 people watching. Shout out to all of you who are listening to me just give my analysis and give my critique about this. But the reason why a lot of miscegenation laws, I know I super diverted all to all parts of the manosphere and red pill, but the reason why a lot of miscegenation laws were created for all 26 people watching is because it was to protect mediocre men from men who were superior, not because of their race. We are not a race-based channel who believes that the white man or black man is superior, blah, 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 blah. No. The fact that black men in this country go through much more adversity, whether externally or now, as at least for the past 50 to 60 years, internally. Thank you, Communita. Thank you, Daggles. Thank you, Maggles. And thank the Bebe's kids even for making the challenge of black men in this country, or just the living of black men, that much harder. But do you know what adversity does to men who can survive it? Adversity makes men that much stronger. That much stronger to the point that by default, they become a better men. That by default, they become genetically or just in other ways better than other men. Marvin Gaye didn't have a lot of opportunities. He came from where I came from during a time when it was even worse to come from the streets of DC. Yeah, I'm just going to say this. Let me go ahead. Let me just confirm something right here because I want to get my facts right. He was born in Washington, D.C. in 1939. Now, I was born there like about 50 years later, which, yeah, you can argue it wasn't great then either, but it was at least somewhat better than it was in 1939, at least for blacks. And going up in the segregated D.C., there wasn't many options. Even the federal government wasn't as open of an option for blacks as it is today. Yeah, and you know, and a lot of people say work twice as hard, get half as much. Yeah, you know what? Yeah, you know, you work twice as hard, you may get half as much where you are, but you work twice as hard so that you can get to a place where you get your just due. Vision, you're in Canada, man. I like you, dude, but yeah, come on. I tell brothers, look, you got, if you want to get your worth, go to Canada, man. Go to Canada. And I'm not going to get too far into it, but black men who live in Britain, Canada, Europe, Australia, even places like Japan, Taiwan, Singapore. Come on, help me here. Look, you guys, Africa, you guys should have it on easy street compared to black American men when it comes to racism. Because one, either you live in a place where other blacks rule, or two, you live in a place where the system is not rigged against you as a thinking black man. Now, as a pookie black man, they love pookie black men. There's a reason why Black Lives Matter exists. And they love the daggle. I mean, hell, daggles get more love than productive black women. And you get a productive black woman behind the scenes away from her daggle friends by force. And by force meaning she feels as if she's guilty to deal with daggles because that's what black pride is. And blah, blah, blah. Look, you get these people away, far enough away, and the black woman who is a productive thinking black woman will tell you, I can't stand these daggles. These daggles get way more for less. As far as that's concerned, the reason why a lot of these guys, a lot of miscegenation and Jim Crow laws were created was to protect mediocre men from competing against superior men. Not mediocre by ethnicity, but by circumstance. By the fact that they've been given everything in life. And yes, if you were a white man born before the 1970s, you were given damn near everything in life. You were basically living in a racial socialist nation. Now, it has become less racially socialist, which is the reason why you had a bunch of pissed off European rejects, I'll just say this, voted in people such as Ronald Reagan and now Donald Trump. Given that neither one of those are really helping when it comes to the racial socialism in order to preserve it and to revive it, but let the rejects of Europe believe what they want. The real whites who actually work for their keep and don't rely on race, they'll just go on and live their lives regardless of who's in office or regardless of which party's in office. I'm not one of these channels that tells you to vote Republican or Democrat. And with that, yeah, exactly, Fission. That's why a lot of immigrant blacks in Canada, Native Indians get it back. Yeah, exactly. So in Canada, that's what I thought. The Native Indians are the ones who get it the worst. I figured blacks in Canada are mostly just on par with. Yeah, you know what? I wouldn't be surprised. But you come to America, and then you'll be kissing the Canadian flag or the Canadian ground once you get back. I'll say that. That's a lot of people who. But yeah, exactly. And yeah, shout out to you. So with that being stated, a lot of these laws have been created in order to stifle competition. Competition that is now showing itself, and now we're seeing the results. We're seeing the results of a lot of these Jane Fonda individuals who are getting with Marvin Gaye's of the world. I mean, we had it with, Jamie Foxx and what's her name? Jamie Foxx and Katie Holmes. I mean, I know they're broken up, and a lot of people say, "Oh, she's past the prime." Oh, Jamie Foxx got with Katie Holmes when she was past the wall. Okay, well, let Anthony Johnson tell you that. All right, cool. Let Coach Greg Adams tell you that, so you can get your non-black dollars, because that's apparently the thing that sells here. But yeah, with that being stated, do not let certain people fool you. When competition is equal, when you get rid of all the barriers, then the best men truly win. And in this case, when it came to what got her off, it was Marvin Gaye. And as far as that's concerned, this is how you can tell that the liberal America wasn't as liberal as they say they are, because you see now with all of these other pairings, all these other couples, and all these other lifestyles. And I'm not shooting or roasting any of the lifestyles. You live what you want to live. I mean, you touching touching a dude's butt doesn't affect me as long as he don't touch my butt. A chick kissing another chick doesn't affect me as long as I can get in the middle of that. And Transformers, they're just going to transform. That's fine with me. As long as you keep it in Cybertron or San Francisco, wherever. But as far as this is concerned, in the 60s, during all of this civil rights and all this March on Washington, March in Selma, shoes, all this other kind of stuff. Look, and shout out to John Lewis, who's just laughing with freaking, oh man, the 999 I'm bad with names tonight. Freaking A. 999 tax. All right, yeah, okay. Herman Cain and John Lewis, who are they're playing dominoes right now and looking down on the mess that we have right now in this country. And they are, if the YouTube is up in heaven, they are doing the collab video and like David Carroll and the Queasy 100, and they're cooking everyone down here. They're cooking the left, they're cooking the right, and that's all I got to say about that. But as far as the left is concerned, if the left was so progressive, why didn't they start pushing interracial couples? Why didn't they do that? Because if they did, then you could have got Jane Fonda, who was already an activist. She was already an SJW her day. She could have got with Marvin Gaye, and the two, even if it was on the surface, could have been a power couple. They could have been a power couple. They could have just gone around, held hands together, march on Washington together, especially march on Selma. Oh yeah, you want to have these two hold hands marching in Selma. Alabama would win at war. And they would have defected from the United States. And you know what? We probably would have been in a better scenario of it. You know what? I know they got good football, Roll Tide, War Eagle, but you know what? I'm willing to give up college football. I'm willing to give up college football for a more racially coherent society. That's where I stand right now, and that's where a lot of you guys need to stand too. You need to be willing to give up certain things in order to get a better quality of life, and that's the reason why I think a lot of you all are too afraid to really make a move out of this country, because a lot of you guys are still addicted to football, still addicted to these street food thoughts, and you're still addicted. Some of you, I dare say, are still addicted to white supremacy. Shout out to Kiriaki Jones. And you all are wondering, what would a world or a life look like if I didn't have to do that? It would be nice, but eventually it would be too boring. Too boring to the point in which I wouldn't know what to do with myself. Or some of the pro-wacks or the mediocre Negroes, they need that white supremacy in order to cover up for their own personal failures, which in that case, we're not worrying about those individuals leaving this country. As a matter of fact, we want the baby's kids, the grown-ass baby's kids, to stay in this country. Please stay. We don't need you all ruining the reputation of blacks overseas and confirming the BS that we see here in America. We don't need that. Exactly. And with that being stated, that's basically all I have for now. I want to thank, 30 people here. Jeez, 30 people. That's a new record. You know what? 30 people. I can hold 30 people, and it's 1 a.m., 1:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Well, you know what? I want to shout out all of you guys who supported. I'm going to go through the super chats one last time. Let me see. Solo TV 84 always supporting the $10 super chat. Patrick Jones with the $10 super chat. Any other cash? Okay, cool. Okay, so we're not going to help with me skating YouTube's draconian policies of trying to get 30% of my money. Okay, cool. You know what? Mercy me. What's going on? Mercy me. All sorts of other songs. Sexual Healing. Sheesh. Where do I begin with Marvin Gaye? But shout out to Marvin Gaye. Shout out to Jane Fonda for admitting her desires or her lust that she had for BBC in the 1950s and 60s. And also shout out to Marlon Brando for being a good sport. I mean, I know he's just looking out, like he's just shaking his head. It's like, okay, you know what? Now, some people are saying I didn't perform. Jane Fonda saying that I was disappointing, and some people are saying, oh yeah, about me. No, this is bull. This is bull. And saying I'm a maniac and I'm all that. You know what? Shout out to him, even though he was disappointing, and even though society was able to, protect him from that image. Because if this happened today, oh yeah, you know what would happen. If we had stores like these today, oh, exactly. And let me go on ahead and point that out. Like Carbon Master said, white men in Arizona love BBC. Ain't no mountain high enough. So yeah. Other than that, I want to thank you all for joining me in this late night. I won't hold you up too long. If you aren't in the live, just watch the replay. Hopefully I'll have something come next week. I'll try to keep these streams short and the content moving. And everyone else out there. Oh, never mind. Yeah, I was about to say, was that Diana Ross? You know what? I should have known that. Ain't no mountain. That was Diana Ross. Come on. Hey, Fission, you're Canadian, so you get away with that mistake. I can't. I should have known that. So I'm gonna get cooked for anyone who watches the end of this video. But everyone else out there, go ahead and see these last comments. Everyone else out there, always bet on X.